Welcome to Miracles Are Me Crochet. Today we are going to start the Crochet Lab tutorial for Herrschners Worsted 8 Happy Birthday Blanket. This is classified as an easy level pattern, which I agree. It will use Herrschners Worsted 8 White, which is here. This is a machine wash and dry 4 medium weight yarn. It has the Easy Start tabs, which I really love. The second color for this pattern is Herrschners Worsted 8 Celebrate yarn. So this is a worsted yarn that has a special theme, which is their celebration theme. This is called Birthday, and it's again a machine wash and dry worsted 4 medium weight yarn. So some of the stitches that you'll use for this pattern are chain, a slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, treble crochet, a long single crochet. Don't be intimidated by that. It's not difficult to do. Okay, one of the things I like about this pattern is that the yarn is carried up along the edges, which is easy once someone shows you how to do it, which we'll be doing in this tutorial. So to begin, we're going to take our white and we're going to chain 119. So let's make our slip knot. The way I do mine is over 2 fingers. There's my circle. Take this side, put it inside your circle and pull. And now I have my slip knot. Oh, I forgot to mention that this uses a 6.5 millimeter hook, which is also a K hook. So we're going to chain 119. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Continue chaining until you get to 119, and then we'll meet again to begin the first row. Okay, so I have 119 chains on my hook. I'm continuing with the same white color. So to begin row 1, which is the right side, we're going to put a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain, this is the second chain. We're going to flip over so we see our humps. Here's the first hump, here's the second hump. We're going to go right into this second hump and yarn over and pull through one. And we're going to do that for each chain that we have. We're going to put a simple single crochet into each chain. Okay, so continue doing that, and then we'll meet again towards the end of row 1. Okay, I'm now at the last stitch in my chains, and I'm going to put a single crochet into that last stitch. So there's my last single crochet. For especially my beginners, I would encourage you to count your single crochets. You should have 118 single crochets. Also for my beginners, I would encourage you to mark that this row that you just completed is the right side of your blanket. So if you turn it over, that's the wrong side. That'll be important for you, especially for the beginners, once you put your edging on. So what I do to mark, or what I would encourage you to do, especially if you're a beginner, is to mark your right side. And how I do it is I simply take a piece of thread and attach it, and I put a little bow. Right there, just like that. So now I know that this is my right side, okay? Now to begin row 2, it's basically a repeat of row 1. We're going to chain 1, turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, it's just a chain. So we're going to make sure that we go into this very first chain. let me move this very first single crochet right here. Okay, don't miss that. So this is our chain 1. It doesn't count as a stitch, so we're going to go right here into this first single crochet, and then we're going to do a single crochet into each single crochet. And then I'm going to ask you to continue to do this until you get to the last 2 stitches on your row, and then we'll meet up again to complete this second row. Okay, so I'm at the last 2 stitches. So we're going to put a single crochet here, and just a reminder for our beginners, please don't forget this last stitch right here that you need to go into. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go in and do a partial single crochet. So you went in and you got 2 on your loop and hold them. Now we're going to attach our next color, which is called Birthday. So still single slip stitch, and we got our 2 loops on our hook. So we're going to pull that through, and now we're attached. Now instead of cutting off this yarn, we're going to carry it up the sides. Now the trick to carrying yarn up the sides is not to pull your yarn too tightly, or else what will happen is your blanket edge will kind of bunch up like that, okay? So when you're bringing up the sides, make sure that you give it a little bit of give, all right? So what I do is, to make sure everything is secure, what I do is I take, this is my end piece that I just attached, okay? I put just a very simple single little knot, just like that, okay? Just a nice, simple, not too tight knot, just like that, all right? So to bring up our edge we're going to lay this is how I do it. Now some people do it differently. This is the yarn that we're about to work with. This is my edges that I'm bringing up, so I just lay that on top. And for chain 3, we're going to start with for row 3, we're going to start with a chain 3. Sorry, so I have that sitting in there, and I'm going to do my chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So as you can see, here's my edging yarn going up the side. Okay, I'll take it off so you can see what I'm talking about. So these are going to go right up on the side, okay? And here it is on the side. All right? And you're going to put an edging around that so you won't see those yarns going up the side. All right, so now we're going to turn our work because we just did our chain 3. Now sometimes when you're doing this, you got to kind of finagle your yarn or rearrange your yarn. That's the downside, but that takes like a second. So it's much quicker than having to weave in all of those edges, okay? So let's get this out of the way. That's our stuff going up the side. So we have our chain 3 on there. Our chain 3 in this row, it counts as a double crochet, okay? So this counts as a stitch now. It's a double crochet now, all right? Now we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. So because this is a double crochet, this is all one stitch, okay? So you're going to go into the very next stitch, which is right here. And you're going to do another double crochet. Okay? Now you're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch. So you're going to yarn over once, pull through, and pull through all 3. That's your half. And then you're going to do a single in the next stitch. And there's my single. Okay? Now we're going to chain 2. Here's 1 and 2. And then we're going to skip 2 single crochets. So we're going to skip 1, 2. So you're not going to put anything in those 2 stitches. Nothing goes in those 2 stitches. Next, we're going to put a single crochet. So you skipped 1, you skipped 2, and we're going to put a single crochet here. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put a half double crochet. So yarn over once, pull through all 3. There's your half. And then we're going to put a double. So yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. And there's your double. Then you're going to put a treble in the next, you're going to put another double. That's in the next stitch. There you go. And then you're going to put a treble in the next 2 stitches. So for a treble, you're going to yarn over twice. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Another treble, yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then again, pull through 2. And that's how you should be looking at this point. Then you're going to do a double in the next 2. So yarn over once, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over once, go in the next stitch, another double, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then a half crochet in the next stitch, yarn over once, pull through all 3. There you go. And then a single in the next. Single. Okay? And you can see how that kind of rises and then goes back down like a cascade. So that's going to be your repeat stitch until you get to the last 6 stitches. So let's do that together again for the repeat. Let me pull some yarn out. So we're going to chain 2. Here's my chain 2. Skip 2. Here's 1, here's 2. Single crochet in the next stitch. There's my single. Half double in the next stitch. Double in the next 2 stitches. So here's my double. Another double. Treble in the next 2. Yarn over twice. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Whoop, I gotta do that one again. That happens. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Same thing. Here's my second treble. Now we're going to go down, so double crochet in the next 2. There's 1 double crochet, and then the next one I'm going to do another double crochet, and then a half a double in the next stitch. There we go. Pull through all 3, and then a single. And then that's your repeat. So you're going to continue to do this all the way and get until you get to the last 6 stitches. So you're going to chain 2, skip 2, then you're going to do your single and then a half double and then 2 doubles, 2 trebles, 2 doubles, a half a double, a single, and continue doing that all the way until you get to the last 6 stitches left, and then we'll meet there. Okay, so now I've reached the last 6 stitches to be done in row 3. So I'm going to do my chain 2 just as before. I'm going to skip 2. So here's my skip. I'm going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, so yarn over, go through, pull through all 3, and then a double crochet in these last 2 stitches. So here's my 1 double crochet, here's my 2nd double crochet. Okay. All right. So to begin row 4, we're again same colors on the hook. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn our work. I'm going to pull out some yarn. Remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so we don't need to go in this where this pink is. So in the very next where our green is, we're going to put another double crochet. Okay. And then we're going to put a half double crochet into that next stitch. So there's a, and then a single crochet into that next stitch. And then chain 2 once again. And we're going to skip that chain 2. We're going to single crochet in that next space, a half double crochet into the next, and then double crochet, next stitch again, another double crochet, next stitch again, another treble into that treble we did before. So yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, same again, another treble, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, another double crochet in the next 2 double crochets below. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, another half in the next stitch, half double, and then another single, and then again chain 2. So that's how we should be looking. Okay, and you're going to repeat that all the way down until you get to the last 4 stitches, and then we'll meet again. So I'm at towards the end of row 4. So I'm going to chain 2, that's 1 and 2. I'm going to put a single in this single below, half double in the next stitch. I'm going to put a double crochet into the next stitch, and then I'm going to prepare my next stitch to join back my white. So I'm going to go right here in this top of this pink, and I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, and hold. I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to grab my white back again, and I'm going to pull, bring that up. Remember, don't bring it too tight, because if you do this, your yarn, your edges is going to buckle. Okay, so I'm going to just pull it up loosely and pull it through. I'm going to make sure it's not too tight. See, if you pull it tight, this is what happens. So make sure that it's not too loose, not like that, but that it's loose enough that your side won't buckle. Okay? So I've joined my white back up. So I'm going to move this to get this out of my way for a moment. Now I have my white that I'm going to start to work with for row 5. So I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to bring it up. This is the yarn that we worked for here, and I'm going to lay it right on top, and I'm going to chain 1. Okay, so you see, so it's gonna, so it'll just ride up along the edge. So I have my chain 1 on my hook. I'm going to turn my work. So to begin this row, I'm going to do, so I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to do a single crochet in each of the first 4 stitches. So I'm going to, remember, this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now we need to go into this first stitch right here. I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch. So that's 1. And then I'm going to do another single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in the very next stitch. And then a single crochet in that stitch right before that chain 2. All right? And then we're going to pause right there. I'm going to get my yarn back in like a working order. So I'm going to bring that up. Okay. Now, working in the front of the chain 2 space, I'm going to put a long single crochet in the next 2 single crochets 3 rows below. So let's first count. I'm going to pull this out 3 rows below. So here's my first row, right here where the green is. Here's my second row, and here is my first row. So it's right again where this white is. So in order to do a long single crochet, we're simply going to go down into this stitch right here, and we're going to pull it up just like that, and then do our single crochet. Same thing again. We're going to go into the next stitch 3 rows below, which will be our white again. Pull that yarn up to the same height as we did before, and there's my single crochet, single long crochet. Okay, so it's not difficult. And then you're going to continue to do that all the way across. So we're going to just continue to do that all the way across. So hold on for a second, I'm sorry. My little dog's acting up. So now we're going to put another single crochet in each of the stitches across. Just a regular single crochet. There you go. In each stitch across. Until we get to our chain 2 space. We got one more. So now we're at our chain 2 space right here. So we're going to do the same thing again. Do a long single crochet 3 rows below. There's the 1. Go into the next one. There's the second. Okay, and then we do a single crochet in each stitch across. Now we're back at our chain 2 space, and we're going to do our long single crochets again, and you continue doing it. For us, but for the beginners, the way you can easily keep track is once you do your 2 long single crochets, you should have 10 single crochets across here, and then once you get to the next stitch after that 10th, then it's time to, you should be at your chain 2 spaces where you put your long single crochets. Okay, and you should be looking like that, really cute. Okay, so finish doing that row. That's row 5, and I'll meet you right before you do the last 4 stitches. We'll meet again. All right, so I'm at the last 4 stitches of row 5. So I did my 2 long single crochets, and I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, making sure that I don't miss that last turning chain, which for me is this orange stitch right here. Okay, and row 6 is an easy row. You're going to chain 1 again. This doesn't count as a stitch, remember. So sorry, you're not going to forget to go into this first stitch, since that chain 1 didn't count as a stitch, and you're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way across. And I'm going to ask you to do that until you get to the last 2 stitches. And then we'll meet again. So you're going to single crochet also in the stitches that were made, that those long stitches were made, okay? In each and every stitch, you're going to put a single crochet. All right, so continue to do that, and we'll meet when you get to the last 2 stitches left. Finish out this pattern repeat with row 7. So at row 6, my last 2 stitches. So single crochet here, and in this last single crochet, I'm going to go through, hold 2, and hold 2, bring up this color, pull it through. Okay, remember, don't squeeze too tight. I'm going to place my white right on top just to continue to carry it up. So let me show you how I did that again. My white is down there. I'm just going to sit it on top of this green just to have it continue to carry up neatly up the side, pull through. So this is what my side looks like, okay? I'm going to chain 1. Did I chain 1 already? I'm sorry. Yeah, I chained 1 already. Sometimes I get confused. Okay, there we go. Now I'm correct. I got my chain 1. I got my white going up. Okay, I'm going to turn my work. And basically, your last repeat row is a repeat of what you did previously. So we're going to put a single crochet right here, and that's first single crochet, because remember that chain does not count as a chain 1. So I have my single crochet in the first stitch, and then half double, double in the next 2, treble in the next 2, double in the next two, then a half a double, and then a single. Same as what we did before. Chain two. Okay, let's repeat that one more time. I got my chain two. I'm going to skip 2 spaces. I got my single, half double, double in the next stitch, another double in the next stitch, treble in the next stitch, another treble, double in the next, double in the next, half double. Sorry, I gotta pull some yarn. Half double, single, chain two, skip the next 2, and then you're gonna continue to go from there. Okay. I'm sorry, this 7 is not the end. I'm sorry. We got a few more rows to go. I apologize. So you're going to continue that pattern until you get to the last 2 stitches, and then we'll meet again for row. I am at the last 2 stitches I have left of row 7. So you should have done for this, you should have done, here's your chain 2 and your 2 skips. And then a single, a half double, a double, a double, a treble, a treble. Okay? So, wait a minute, let me see. I want to make sure I got it right. Single, half double, 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 treble, treble, and then you'll have a double and then another double. And then to finish off this row, you're going to do in the next stitch a half double. And then in the last stitch, a single crochet. All right. And that is your end of row 7. Now for row 8, you're going to chain 1. There's my chain 1. Remember again, that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. I'm going to turn my work. Let me pull some thread. I'm going to do a single crochet in that first stitch. So for me, because it's chain 1 doesn't count, it'll be right here in this green. So there's my single. And then the next stitch, I'm going to do a half double. And then a double in the next 2. So that's a double. Here's a double. And then treble. Another treble in the next stitch. Got a double here, another double, a half double, and then a single, and then my chain 2, and then repeat that pattern again. So single, half, double, another double, treble, another treble, I think I looped one too many times, so here's my second treble. There we go. A double, double, half, and then a single, and then my chain 2, and continue until you get down to the last 2 stitches again, and then we'll meet again. So this is towards the end of row 8, so I have 2 stitches left to go. So again, in this stitch right here, I'm going to do a half double crochet, and then in this last stitch I'm going to do a partial single crochet. So I pulled up a loop, I have 2 chains on my hook. I'm going to bring my white up to carry it up and pull it through. So now I have attached my white yarn, and now I'm going to lay my pink down so it can continue to carry up, and I'm going to chain 1. All right, then I'm going to turn my work. So this row 9 is the last. It's actually, and this is correct, this is the last of the repeat rows. So to begin row 9, we're going to single crochet in these first 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and this is where you should be to do your long single crochets. You should be at those chain 2 spaces. So you're going to do your long single crochets just like you did in the previous row that you did that in. You're going to go, so this is row 1, row 2, 3 rows below, right back into that white long single crochet, and then the same thing again, long single crochet, and then you're going to count down your 10 stitches. So 1, here you go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you're going to do your back at your chain spaces. You're going to do your long single crochet in the next 2 stitches, same as you did before, and this is how your pattern will be looking. Okay, as you can see, you're going to alternate where your long single crochets will fall. Okay, and that's the repeat pattern. So you're going to continue that all the way till you get to the end. And then what you do for the pattern is you're going to repeat rows 2 through 9 18 times. And then on the last rep of row 8, you're going to fasten off with color B, which is your Celebrate yarn. Okay. And then we will meet back again to begin to work on the edging. So happy crocheting. We'll meet again soon. Bye-bye. So I have finished the body of my blanket. So now I'm going to work on the border edging. Now the border edging is only done on the 2 sides because you've already put like an extra row here for the edge, which serves as the border. So the border is just put on the left and the right side. So first, if you remember, I told you to tie a bow. So here's my bow. So I know this is the front of my blanket or the right side. So first we'll do let's see which side we're going to do. You can do the left or the right. It doesn't matter because you're going to do it the same way. So let us start with, let's start with our left. So to start with the left side of our border, we're going to go to the top of our blanket, which for me is here. Make sure you have the right side facing you. And we're going to attach our yarn in the corner. So here's my corner. Let me bring it so you can see a little better. So I'm gonna make my slip knot. And I'm going to sorry, hold tight. Bring my yarn in and secure it. Now from here, I'm going to do a chain 1. So there's my chain 1. Now, that's how the instructions tell you to do it. What I'm going to tell you to do, so see if you do it this way, you'll have that gap right there. What I would tell you to do is attach it into this chain right here. And pull it through, okay? And then give yourself your chain 1, because that way you won't have so much of a gap right here, okay? So you're going to put a single crochet into that first stitch, all right? Just like that. Now, how you're going to do this side is for every double crochet, every row that has a double crochet, you're going to put 2 singles. So here's a double, so I'm going to put a single and a single. Here's another double, so I'm going to do a single and a single. So for every double crochet, every row with a double, you're going to put in that double 2 single crochets. And then every row that's a single, you're going to put a single crochet. So this row is a single, and this is a single. So I'm going to put a single and a single. Okay? So this row, it ends with a single. So I'm going to put a single here. And then this row ends with a single, so I'm going to put a single here, okay? I hope that makes sense. So every row that has a double, you're going to put 2 singles in. Every row that has a single, you're going to put 2 doubles in. This row is, again, a single. So single crochet here, single crochet here. This row, I wanted to get here so I can show you again. This row is a double, so I'm going to put a single and a single into that double, and then I got another double, so I'm going to put a single and a single, okay? And you're going to continue. So this is how, as you can see, you're making your border, and then you don't see so much of a gap up here, like as if you do it the way that the pattern tells you. And then you're going to continue all the way down to the end. And once you get to the end, you're going to do it the same way as you did before. If you choose to, you can end here. So this is a double, double, and a double, double. And then what I would do, again, I would go ahead and put a single in this corner to make it blend a little bit better. Okay, and then for the opposite side row, instead of starting, so your opposite side is what, your left, your right side facing you. You're going to start, instead of starting at the top of the blanket, you need to start at the bottom. Okay, so your sides will match. So start at the bottom. You're going to do the exact same technique, but instead of starting at the top of the blanket, you're going to start at the bottom and then work up. Okay? So complete your sides, and then we'll meet again to see the finished product. Okay, so this is our completed, what's the name of this? I'm sorry. Happy birthday blanket. That was simple enough. So it turned out really lovely. Now I did do a little bit different. I don't like tassels. So what I did on my corners, I put little petals. So you can see right here on each corner. I also, different than the pattern, because this is for my 9-year-old granddaughter, and I didn't want this white on the ends because it's going to get nasty. So I did just a row of single crochets along the top as well. And I think it made it very lovely. So you can see the petals I put on each little corner instead of the tassels. Okay? So it came out really cute. Really cute. So if you are interested in making the tassels like was pictured, I would suggest you use this clover tassel maker. When I do make tassels, which is very rare, I will use this clover tassel maker for my tassels. And with this tassel maker, you can increase or decrease the size. This is the size large. They have them, I think, in 2 different sizes. So you can open and close this to make them bigger or make the tassels smaller, depending on what you want. So this one makes 5 different sizes, 2 3/8 inch, 2 3/4 inch, 3 1/8 inch, 3 1/2 inch, and 4 inches. Okay, so this is what I would suggest, and the directions are on the back. You can get this off of Amazon. I'll try to remember to put, and of course you can get it off of the Clover website. I'll try to put the link in the description. I'll try to remember. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.